For almost 5 years, he's been away from the sport he helped popularize. But tonight comes the highly anticipated return of one of the legends of mixed martial arts. Egan Inoue is back, but the big question is, why?
What I really want to accomplish by coming back is I want to accomplish something for myself. It's in my heart, it's in my mind, and what I want to do is prove to myself that I can hang with a 23-year-old.
By the end of the night, the 42-year-old Inoue will know if he can hang with the young studs of MMA, and if indeed Father Time has truly been kind. You are looking live at the BLAISDELL Arena in Honolulu, Hawaii. Capacity about 6,500, and we might hit that limit tonight as X1 World Events presents Legends. How you doing, everyone? I'm Russell Shimaoka, bringing you a first for Hawaii MMA, live on local television. So with that, we say aloha to everyone tuning in around the 50th state and to the tens of thousands more watching globally on the World Wide Web. Well, they call it Legends, and the promoters have kind of turned back the hands of time, calling upon the legendary names that have formed the cornerstone of Hawaii MMA. Names like, well, Ronald Machine Gun Jhun, Kolo Koka, Bretta Cooper, and the name that rises above all others, at least tonight, Egan Inoue. Speaking of names, Mike Unzuka, well, he's a big shot in local MMA action. He is a adjudicator, a instructor, a commentator, and tonight he's my broadcast partner. And Mike, glad to have you with us here. And did the way Egan Inoue left the sport 4.5 years ago have anything to do with why he's coming back?
I'm sure it did. You know, after the last 2 losses of his fight career against Jason Mayhem Miller and Masanori Suda, a guy like Egan cannot go out on 2 losses. He's always looking for ways to challenge himself, and what better way of challenging himself than to get back in the ring at age 42 to see if he can reclaim his past glory.
Well, Egan Inoue made his announcement to return back to the ring a few months ago, and that announcement drew mixed reactions.
You know, from some people are telling me, oh, you sure you're not too old? You know, and it's like, I wouldn't be doing it if I thought it was too old. But you know what? You never know. And then I have other people like, all right, you know, Egan's coming back. They're, you know, excited about it. And then, you know, I got the mixed guys like, well, you know, it's going to be interesting. I kind of want to see what it's going to be all about.
It's sad to say, but he's got like old man strength. He's got, you know, mature strength, and it's going to be tough being in there. And, you know, I see him now, saw him today, and, you know, when I saw him when I was younger, he was huge, you know, so I'm actually quite happy. But he's definitely strong. It's going to be a rough fight.
Well, Hans Marrero idolized Egan when he was a teenager, but tonight comes the realization that he has to stand toe-to-toe with MMA legend. Inoue, Marrero, that is the main event of tonight's fight card presented by X1 World Events. Before we get to the action, we have our pre-fight activities, and we introduce our ring announcer, and that's James Brennan.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, as the Hawaii National Army Guard Color Guard presents our Stars and Stripes, I ask that you please rise for the singing of the national anthem as performed by the daughter of Egan Inoue, 10-year-old Tia Inoue.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that Spangled Banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Well, how fitting. And Inoue opens the show, and Inoue hopes to close the show here at Legends. Well, if you are not familiar with the rules of X1 combat, Mike Unzuka will take us through tonight's rules.
The scoring is based on a 10-point must system. Again, there's no strikes to the back of the head or spine, no kicking or kneeing of the head of a downed opponent, and the ways to win an X1 fight is by submission, by KO, or by referee stoppage.
Well, as they say in the entertainment world, let's get this party started. And we're first up a 170-pound X1 Amateur Welterweight Championship match between Sean Sakata and Jhun Vistante.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, entering the arena, John Vistante.
Jhun Vistante will be, no doubt, the youngest competitor of the night. He just turned 18 on March 28th. And believe this, Michael Zuka, he turned 18 on March 28th. He had his first MMA fight on March 29th. This is a guy eager to get into the fight game.
Definitely, he's an outstanding kickboxer, and he has the, I call it the balls of youth. He just goes out there and bangs with reckless abandon.
They call him the Warrior. He is from YNI, and he is certainly an exciting up and coming fighter coming out of the Leeward Coast. Go, Jay.
And his opponent entering the arena now, Sean Sakata.
Well, Sean Sakata will bring with him the X1 Amateur Welterweight belt. He won that championship back in January of 2008, defeating Steve Farmer. And Sean Sakata from Oahu out of No Remorse Gym in Kaneohe. Certainly a guy who would like to stick to his championship ways in the amateur ranks, but this is a guy who can certainly turn pro overnight.
Definitely, he's an outstanding wrestler, and this is a real traditional striker versus wrestler matchup here.
So as both combatants have gone into the ring, we go up topside to James Brennan for the official introduction.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, our first bout of this evening is brought to you by Fighters Corner, with the widest variety of MMA DVDs and fight gear, located at 405 North King Street, Fighters Corner. And now we get the action underway with our first bout of this evening, a scheduled 2 3-minute rounds for the X1 Amateur Welterweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, coming to us by way of YNI, bringing him with a professional record of 2 wins, 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you John the Warrior Vistante. And his opponent fighting across the ring out of the blue corner, coming to us by way of Kaneohe. He brings with him an undefeated record of 5 wins, no defeats. He is the X1 Amateur Welterweight Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, now let's hear it for Sean Sakata. In the ring at this time, the man in charge of this championship contest, your referee, Steve Miyamoto.
So let's take a look at the tail of the tape between Sakata and Vistante. We added about 10 years to Vistante's age. He's really 18 years old. Quite a good matchup. Vistante saying Sakata is a really big 170.
He's huge, and he's very, very strong, and that's perfect for a wrestler. He needs that power to be able to suck a guy in like a Vistante, who has very, very long reach and long legs, so his sprawl. Hopefully he's working on his sprawl, because Sean's got a great shot.
Vistante bringing him a 20-3 kickboxing record. So this is a guy who's and an early injury, and Sakata might have thrown out his knee.
He twisted his knee.
He twisted his knee. What a bad start to tonight's festivities, as Vistante, like he went for a leg kick, and Sakata might have just twisted the knee. We're going to take a look at the replay of this.
Here it is, right here. It's like he kicked there, and his leg slipped down here. I don't know if maybe added a little more twist to that knee.
It might have been, but his foot did spin around on the mat. It's not like the mat grabbed the leg and the knee went. So let's take a look one more time, if we can, perhaps from another angle. This would be devastating news for Sakata. Well, that was a quick replay there, but he's in a lot of pain because he goes down grabbing the knee right away.
Could have been an old injury, a nagging injury. Once you pop out your knee and he comes out, it's a kind of a thing that happens over and over again, different situations, and this is a very, very odd situation for it to come out again.
Very odd. And, talking with John Vistante and Sean Sakata before tonight's match, both were very eager to, get some work in, to get some, this was a championship. This was for the amateur 170 belt. And the champion is down on the mat.
Vistante just fought in a kickboxing. He's always staying busy in MMA and kickboxing, and always looking for his opportunity to kind of raise his level. And definitely he was in a position to raise his level if he could pull off his victory against Sean Sakata.
Well, right now all concern in the corner for Sean Sakata, 26 years old, out of No Remorse Gym in Kaneohe. And they're going to call it a no contest. Or are they? Well, they're going to call an end to the fight.
We'll see what
we'll see what the.
This is an interesting. This is going to be an interesting decision, right? I don't think this ever happens.
I know. We have this big build-up to the festivities here, and the first match goes off, and we have an injury, and not one punch being thrown. I don't even think that kick landed. Right? Yeah. It didn't.
Yeah, that or maybe Vistante has now broken the record for fastest finish in MMA history.
So they're still looking at the knee of Sean Sakata. Sakata will get up on the stool there. Medical staff is in there. It's a round of applause from the late coming crowd to the Blaisdell Arena here in Honolulu, Hawaii.
He kind of bent the knee a little earlier as he got up, and that's a good sign. Because sometimes if the kneecap kind of slid over, sometimes that's a big problem.
Well, Sakata entered MMA in a kind of strange way. Back in August of 07, he entered the O-Lounge 8-man tournament. He didn't enter it, but his cousin Eddie Ohia did, and he was actually a replacement for his cousin Eddie. He went there. He couldn't make the weight, that's why, and they said, well, bell time, we need somebody in there. And Sean said, I'll do it.
What a warrior.
Yeah, well, he ended up winning, as they're going to take Sakata out of the ring. Boy, inauspicious beginning here at the Blaisdell. So let's go up topside to James Brennan and get the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the advice of the ringside doctor, referee Steve Miyashiro steps in and calls a halt to this bout. The official time, 10 seconds. Your winner, John the Warrior Vistante.
And so Vistante wins the 170-pound amateur title without throwing a punch.
Wow.
Pretty interesting way of starting the evening.
You know to get better, by the way.
We certainly hope it does. We hope we see some action.
We need at least, we're looking for just contact now. Next fight, we're looking for contact.
So if you're just tuning in, this is the Blaisdell Arena in Honolulu, Hawaii. Glad you're with us wherever you're watching, around the world or around the 50th state. Mike Unzuka, Russell Shimoka here, ringside with you. Our first match of the evening, without a punch, without a strike being thrown. Sean Sakata gives up his 170-pound amateur belt by twisting his knee just seconds into the fight. Brings us to our next bout of the evening, a lightweight division match between Brandon Visher and Lorenzo Moreno.
Ladies and gentlemen, now entering the arena, Lorenzo Moreno.
Well, if the name Moreno sounds familiar, yeah, he comes from that hard-hitting Moreno family. Lorenzo Moreno, the cousin of former X1 welterweight champ Mark Moreno.
Very exciting stand-up fighter, very aggressive, uses his reach to a big advantage. We see big things out of Lorenzo Moreno.
Now entering the arena, Brandon Visher.
Well, like a lot of young fighters that are appearing here tonight, this will be Brandon Visher's first time fighting here in the Blaisdell Arena. He told me before tonight's festivities that he was very excited to be here and put on a good show and represent the Wailuku Boxing Club, all of the folks watching back in his hometown of Maui. Brandon Visher, age 24. And this is certainly to be an exciting bout in the 150-pound division. Now, go ahead.
No, Brandon Visher may be the best unknown fighter at 150 pounds, and you'll find out in a few seconds.
Time now to meet the fighters, and for that, let's go up topside and James Brennan.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our next preliminary contest for this evening with a scheduled 3-round bout in the lightweight division. Brought to you by Hawaii's Bomb Music Station, 102.7 The Bomb. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, coming to us by way of Kalihi. He brings with him a record of 1 win, 3 defeats. Please welcome Lorenzo El Gallo Negro Moreno. And his opponent fighting across the ring out of the red corner, coming to us by way of Koka. He brings in a professional record of 5 wins, 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Brandon Visher.
And as we take a look at the tail of the tape between these two 150-pound combatants in age, Visher, the older of, actually he is 24 years old to Moreno's 21 years old. And the records, well, Moreno looking to get back on track. In fact, he just picked up his first professional win just a few weeks ago. So we are underway.
You see a banger in Visher that he's got great stand-up, but he's also a very, very talented wrestler too. So if he wants to take this fight to the ground, he definitely has the skills to do it.
Visher in the black, Moreno in red. I believe in his corner is his cousin Mark Moreno, the former X1 welterweight champion.
Both guys kind of measuring themselves up and seeing if they trade. You know, sometimes they can set the tone by these initial kicks.
Shot to the body. Doesn't hit by Visher.
Kind of gauging their range right here and see if they can kind of zone in, find that sweet spot so they can strike without being hit.
Moreno, the taller of the two fighters in the ring right now. Big overhand right. Oh, it's not. And down goes Moreno. Right through the ropes, and Visher's on him. Mouthpiece came flying out. Boy, that was a vicious right hand. And another uppercut on the right.
Nice recovery by Lorenzo Moreno.
Wow, what a big hit by Visher.
He got tagged twice and then actually dropped. He came right back. He kept this cool. Now it looks like he's back 100%.
Wow. Give credit to Moreno to quickly get the cobwebs cleared out. That was a vicious hit.
You got to think when you're training with guys like his cousin, like Mark Moreno, I'm sure he got lit up like that in practice.
Wild punch there by Visher. Both fighters, and down they go. First takedown of the night.
Lorenzo Moreno using those long legs to get the hook. Visher's probably going to change his strategy to keep the fight standing. Again, he's an excellent wrestler. But with those hands that we just seen, probably his best advantage right here, keep the fight standing as long as possible.
You mentioned wrestling. He was a wrestler at King Kekaulike High School on Maui. 24 years of age, and boy, showed the fireworks early on here on the Legends card.
Nice overhand right there by Moreno.
Moreno, as you could probably guess, got started by his cousin Mark, just hanging around the Bulls Pen gym in Kalihi. Just kind of brought him in and said, hey, it's time to start fighting.
I guess you're born in Moreno. You got to learn how to fight.
Yeah, you grow up fighting.
I guess the family bars must be pretty rough if you're not a fighter.
So we had fireworks early on. This is the first round of a scheduled 3 rounds, 5 minutes each.
Nice inside leg kicks. It's really tagging. Visher right there. Usually what they do is they set the leg kicks up. Hands drop down a little bit, and he's going to go up high.
Actually, Moreno took this fight on short notice. I asked him, well, how do you prepare? You know, physically you should be ready to go, fight at any time, but mentally it's a different story. He says, well, you know, I just don't think about the fight too much. It's just like another day at the office, he says. He keeps himself calm, relaxed. And he certainly showed the calm and relaxation of a seasoned veteran when he got knocked down to the ground.
Definitely. Kept his cool, came right back up. You can see no signs of basically him being dropped earlier in this fight. Those leg kicks are going to start taking effect. Just working inside and outside. You can see a little bit of redness on the outside of Visher's leg.
The takedown right to the mat by Visher. And quickly into Moreno's guard.
Moreno kind of working a little bit of rubber guard. He abandoned that right here. Look for a Kimura right here. Lock that arm up.
He's got it pinned in his back.
Nice job. He's coming around.
He's locking those legs so he can't flip over. Oh, he just didn't lock the legs enough.
Good job by Visher by rolling out.
Yeah, what a great switch. And now he's in the mount position is Lorenzo Moreno with 47 seconds left to go here in the first. And if you're a Brandon Visher right now, all you want to do is just keep Moreno just close to. Oh, and a really nice switch there as he gets out. And with 30 seconds left, Moreno. Is he going to let him up? Yep, he's going to let him up. I think Moreno might have been just content to just staying on the ground and just let time tick away.
Exactly, riding that time out, probably the best to kind of conserve his energy, start resting for the next round.
Less than 10 seconds left to go here in round number 1. Shot to the body by Visher. Moreno counters back. And there's the horn signifying the end of the first round. Well, we saw some fireworks. We didn't see any in the first because it was absolutely over in seconds. But, boy, we sure got some fireworks here at our second match.
This is exactly what we expected to see. You know, Visher wants to come on the inside because of the long length of Moreno. You know, and usually fighters at his length is going to throw a lot of jabs. You see him come in, he just dropped his head. That overhand right just landed right on the button. As he comes up, he lands another right, just drops him right. You can see the mouthpiece kind of fly out as well. Here's that exchange again. Well, that's actually another exchange, but, you know, Visher's doing a good job at kind of getting in there, clinching. He slams him right down. Not the hardest slam here. Ronald did a good job at kind of avoiding damage on that slam.
You know, in talking with Brandon Visher, as we see him here in the corner, I asked him, you know, what are some of your goals? And he just said, you know, What I'd like to do is fight the X1 145 champion, Eddie Yagan. Could you imagine Yagan and this slugger Visher from Maui in the same ring? Oh.
I was sorry. I was lucky enough to referee one of them in the same event that he was against this other guy from MMA, and they would just have absolute war. Great wrestling display, great banging. So he'll stay in the pocket and just bang. So that's exactly Eddie's style too. So that make an excellent matchup.
Eddie Yagan, perhaps watching from his home in Las Vegas, Nevada. He was in back in January to defend his X1 super lightweight title with the victory over Dirty Dave Moreno. But we're here in round 2 between Visher from Maui in black and Lorenzo Moreno in red from Bulls Bend in Kalihi.
See if Moreno goes back to that leg kick. He was very, very effective with it earlier. He uses that leg kick to actually start opening up the hands. So.
What Moreno has to be careful about is when he's kicking, he might leave himself open for one of those punches by Visher. I think that's how he caught him there in the first round. Visher just showing a lot of patience, very methodical, just picking his spots.
Nice defense too. He caught actually one of Lorenzo's punches. You don't see actually a lot of defense in MMA for some reason anymore. A lot of good stand-up guys, but they're standing here and just banging away. Both are kind of just waiting, measuring themselves. Nice, powerful leg kicks there. Nice 1-2 combination as well.
Oh, Visher. Visher and Moreno trading blows. Boy, that caught Visher.
See Moreno when he throws, he basically keeps his chin up and leaves his hands down. So it's like the first one that lands.
Well, in that last exchange, Visher had his head down when he was throwing, not seeing where the target was. That was the first good exchange of punches that we've seen from Lorenzo Moreno. See some marks on the face of Brandon Visher in black. Brandon Visher trained in about 3 years. Oh, and a big right hand caught Moreno. Boxing for about 2 years. How he got started in MMA is he saw it on television. Probably saw you commentating a fight and said, I can do that. And he certainly has looked good thus far.
Definitely. He's a very, very tough kid. Well balanced as well. As you can see, his stand-up is solid. Ooh, nice spot shot right there.
You know, we're seeing a lot of leg kicks in this. Mike, tell the folks watching at home. Oh, and a good right hand, partially blocked by Visher. Those leg kicks, they really take their toll on an opponent.
Definitely. It stops the momentum, like your movement, harder to move, harder to pivot. Sometimes you can't even walk, you know. If you get shot with a good leg kick, sometimes that locks your leg up, and you have to kind of dance away, let the blood kind of get back in there, kind of move. So it definitely changes your game.
So, in effect, it is like a jab with your leg.
It's even worse than a jab because it affects your mobility. You can't move, then you're going to get hit a lot more, yeah? So, obviously, the only thing you really can do is go in and out. And for a guy like Visher, he wants to always stay in the inside pocket. Stay right outside of range, come in and strike, and then come back out of range. But the guy as long as Moreno, that's a far distance.
For Moreno, he had some key losses and a key no decision as we see a flurry of punches by Visher. Now he's, oh yeah, now they're throwing blows. Overhand right, misses. Another flurry of punches, not hitting their target.
You see Moreno keeps on popping his mouthpiece out, which might be dangerous. His mouthpiece came out once in that first exchange. Usually when you pop the mouthpiece out, that's a sign of being tired.
Being tired, yeah. Got to be careful because that could serve as a target for Brandon Visher.
Visher's doing a good job at doing also elevation changes in his punching combinations. He'll go head to the body, back to the head.
Nice push kick by Moreno. And the leg kicks continue by both fighters.
Nice. Right in the bucket there.
About 1 minute left to go here in round number 2. Scheduled for 3 between these two 150-pound fighters.
Looks like Visher's kind of finding his range here.
Oh, he got it right in the head. And down goes Visher. Boy, that was Moreno's last defense as he was just getting tagged in the corner.
Nice wizard defend a takedown and switch. Gain the top position. See if he can work from here. Ronald's doing a good job at locking that arm up.
Less than 30 seconds left to go here in round number 2, scheduled for 3. Visher in the guard of Moreno, 20 seconds left. And Steve Miyamoto, the third man in the ring, pressing for some action now.
It's not enough. Visher's not using his top position to kind of cause too much damage here.
Seconds remaining here in round number 2.
Ronald's doing a good job of using those elbows, those knees to kind of crawl those punches. So even if he got on the bottom, he didn't really take that much damage.
Well, that's the end of round number 2, scheduled for 3. And a good round for Moreno, as he was able to start unloading some of the punches that I guess Moreno is known for.
Also, Visher was kind of honing in on the range as well, so every punch at the end of that round kind of landed. He didn't waste any punches. Sometimes the guys punch themselves out because they're missing so much. They kind of lose their momentum. They throw so much behind it. There's a little exchange there.
Well, this is the one that was in the center of the ring. The one that Visher really did is when he got him into the corner.
There's that nice leg kick to the body there. And those type of kicks are kind of sneaky because they land in there. You think it's just a good solid kick, and then all of a sudden you step back, you can't breathe.
So one of those delayed pain things?
Exactly.
This is the one in the corner I was talking about. And then Moreno had no choice but to try to take his opponent down.
Did a good job avoiding those punches. If you look at those punches in the replay, none of them really landed. Well, Moreno's smart enough to close the distance and take the fight to the ground.
We saw a little winded Lorenzo Moreno there in the corner. Conditioning seems to be a problem. Wait, I don't think he's going to answer the bell here in the third.
He kind of got up like gingerly and walked back to his corner. Looks like maybe he popped his rib.
And that might have been that kick to the midsection that we saw in the replay there in the second round. And, well, when the fighters embrace, that usually signifies an end of the fight. I think Lorenzo Moreno, who took this fight on late notice, is done for the evening. And so we'll send it up topside. And the official announcement, and here's James Brennan.
Ladies and gentlemen, corner is unable to due to an injury. Your winner by TK.
So a good fight for Brandon Visher. He runs his record now to 5-1. And the pride of Kolo Maui is going to go back to the Valley Isle victorious. And his experience here on Oahu in the Legends Card at the Blaisdell.
Seeing big things. I want to see big things out of Brandon Visher.
Well, we're ready for our next fight, and that's in the featherweight division. Kana Hyatt, the 135-pound featherweight champion, will take on, in a non-title bout, Mike Pedro.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, entering the arena, Mike Pedro.
Well, Mike Pedro from Kahului, Maui, is making his first appearance at the Blaisdell Arena in a fight that, well, I don't want to say curse, but they've had more cancellations than the phone company. I mean, this started off with Tyson Nam was supposed to fight, Albert Banners was supposed to fight Kana Hyatt, and now we're left with Mike Pedro. But this guy is no slouch. This guy comes to stand and bang.
Definitely. He's also a great grappler, too. Trains jiu-jitsu. Enters a lot of tournaments. Very, very well-rounded. Good top game. He's very, very dominating and very aggressive.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, entering the arena, Kana Hyatt.
Well, he is the X1 featherweight world champion. He won that championship back in November of 07 by defeating Ed Navalu. This was a fight that he was losing. And from the bottom, he came back to win. And when he did, and he took home the belt, he was looking forward to the fight with Tyson Nam. And then his nemesis from Pune on the Big Island, Albert Manners, all two of them canceled. And so this will be a non-title fight between Hyatt and Pedro. And let's meet the fighters. And for that, we'll send it up again, once again, to James Brennan.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next contest is brought to you by MMMHawaii.com, Hawaii's #1 MMA news source. Look for MMA Hawaii, the magazine, in stores statewide. Real people, real fighters, real pain. MMAHawaii.com. This bout is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, coming to us from Kahului, Maui, and bringing in a record of 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mike Pedro. And his opponent fighting across the ring out of the red corner, coming to us by way of Pune. Ladies and gentlemen, he brings with him a record of 6 wins, 2 defeats. He is the reigning X1 featherweight champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the one-man riot, Kana Hyatt.
And as we take a look at the tail of the tape, well, if you take a look at the records there, Kana Hyatt with the more experience, but Mike Pedro, the pit bull, he's ready to bring it, and he's ready to put on a show tonight.
Definitely. He's very, very aggressive, but it kind of plays right into Kana Hyatt's game because, you know, if you remember back the Ed Navalu fight, Ed was kind of dominating the fight, gave Hyatt just a small little opportunity. Oh, that's a nice little exchange right there.
Boy, they came out swinging and down. Both combatants go with Hyatt on top.
Hyatt just needs a little opportunity, and he makes the most of it. There's a nice arm bar.
Did he tap out? Oh, he did! Oh, and Pedro has come to the BLAISDELL from Kahului, Maui, and he is shocked the featherweight champion.
He has cracked Kana Hyatt's arm as well.
Hyatt is still bent over in the corner as we take a look at Pedro there, and if you blinked, you missed it. They both went down. Pedro got him in an arm bar, and it was all over as Hyatt had to tap out. Wow, don't blink. Here's the replay if you missed it.
From the guard setting up, swings his leg around, locks it over the top, extends his hips. It was just so fast he didn't have a chance to kind of even stack. Usually try to stack him over. Excellent technique shown by Mike Pedro.
Oh, man. Mike Pedro really came to Oahu as a spectator, brought all his stuff. He was ready to fight. He was called on to fight just yesterday. And let's have the official announcement. Let's go up topside to James Brennan.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 14 seconds of round number 1. Your winner by armbar submission, Mike Pedro.
Wow. Certainly a rising star, Mike Pedro, the pit bull.
Such a nice guy, too. You know, he couldn't have a better guy. You talk him outside, real meek. Nice textbook armbar from the guard there. A nice swivel of his hips and immediately stretches his arm out, locks it out. And you can see Kana starts tapping right away because he knew he was in trouble.
Well, he said if Albert Manners wasn't going to fight, I'm here. I'm on Oahu. I'm ready to fight. I bought a ticket to the show, but I'm a winner. I'm going home to Maui, a winner from X1 World Events. Well. Well, Dylan Clay, like Mike Pedro, comes from Maui, representing the Maui Fight Club in Brazilian freestyle jiu-jitsu, originally from Durango, California. He is 5-0, and this could be a dangerous fighter.
Yeah, definitely. Dylan Clay is phenomenal on the ground, a legit brown belt, and one of the top guys in Hawaii.
And now, entering the ring, ladies and gentlemen, Ronald Jhun.
The name of the fight card is Legends. And when you talk legends, you gotta put this guy right there in that group. Ronald Machine Gun Jhun had a lot of success in Hawaii when he first started. He went to the mainland, didn't have a lot of success, but he's back home and he's ready to get back on track, get back in the winning track.
Definitely. If there's a hometown advantage, Ron the Machine Gun Jhun is an embodiment of that.
Comes in with over 40 professional fights. He started back in 1999. He's on a 9-match losing streak, okay? But don't let that fool you. Those 9 matches were against some really high, talented fighters. Let's meet the combatants.
Ladies and gentlemen, X1 World Events would like to thank Bruce Kameko of Bad Boy Trucking for his continued support and for presenting tonight's bout. 3 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, coming to us by way of Kahului, Maui, bringing with him an undefeated record of 5 wins, no defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you a villain, the big villain, Clay. And his opponent fighting across the ring out of the red corner, coming to us by way of Honolulu, and bringing in a professional MMA record of 22 wins, 20 defeats with 2 draws. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ronald, the Machine Gun Jhun.
So it is the return to the Blaisdell Arena, the return of Ronald Machine Gun Jhun, and look at the record, over 40 professional fights. Dylan Clay, 5-0 record. You know, Ronald Jhun fought on, all the big stages. He fought in the UFC. He fought some notable names. Dylan Clay, as you mentioned, very, very good jiu-jitsu guy. We'll see the classic fighter against the guy who can do it on the ground.
Definitely. And Dylan also has very excellent stand-up. He's very accurate with his punching as well. But you're going to fight a veteran, a well-rounded veteran. And that's Ron Jhun right there.
Well, this is the first time in 2 years Ron Jhun has fought at the Blaisdell Arena. Talking with him before the fight, says, this is a house that I used to rule. Talking about the Blaisdell.
He had some wars here and usually came up victorious in the wars here in Hawaii.
Yeah. As I mentioned, he's been on a losing streak. He has lost 11 of his last 12. He's been on a 9-match losing streak. Oh, nice right hand by Jhun. Clay clinches up hurt.
Nice exchange there. Ron's extremely hard to take down. He's a great takedown defense. But Clay's even very, very good off his back. So even if he lands on his back, Ron has to be careful of those quick submissions like we just seen.
Tie up along the ropes now. Clay in the red, Jhun in the black. For 3 5-minute rounds. Seems to be a little blood coming from the mouth of Ronald Jhun. Jhun hit him on the left. Oh, the big knee. Jhun might have blocked that one. Push kick by Clay.
Good job by Clay with staying active. If Ron can set the tone here, he may be in trouble. Dylan's doing a good job of switching it up, punches, kicks, the knees.
There is a cut and blood coming down from the left eye of Ronald Jhun. Right in the corner of the eye.
It shouldn't hinder his side at all, but good job by Dylan to kind of keep working that leg. Ron's more of a puncher. He always has been a puncher. He kind of stands in there. Nice change there.
Swinging for the fences is Ronald Jhun. Missing with the right hand. High kick by Clay. Doesn't land.
You see through the exchanges, the experience of Ron Jhun. He keeps his eyes on his target. A lot of guys kind of drop their head as they throw punches. This allows Ron to do multiple combinations, be accurate with his combinations. Kind of dropping that left hand a little bit is Ronald Jhun. That could be due to those leg kicks.
Blood still coming from the left eye in the corner there of Ronald Jhun. Nice leg kick. Right hand just caught the cheek. Oh, and he might have got a finger in the eye. Jhun has to take a timeout there in the corner. He might have got poked with a finger, and the referee, Chris West, has called time.
It could be a block. When you put the hand out to block, your fingers kind of come out, and as he comes forward, that could have been where the jab to the eye came out.
The blood continues to flow out of that left eye. Now the medical team is into the corner now, and let's take a look at what happened.
Kind of a swat with that left hand, possibly with the thumb, kind of coming on. I'm not sure. It's very difficult to see. See if we can see it again here. Ron comes in.
Well, right there,
right there.
Yeah, the right hand, the
Right.
thumb. The thumb of the right hand just poked Jhun right in the eye. Now the trainers are tending to that injury in the corner.
It's kind of a dangerous situation. Is the velocity of the hands coming over exchange, especially when he's trying to throw a punch here with that thumb coming out. And sometimes that thumb comes out a lot if you spar a lot with gloves on, because you can't clinch your fist normally. So even when you take the gloves off, your thumb has a tendency to kind of stay out there.
Well, as they tend to the eye of Ronald Jhun, you know, he fought in the UFC in August of 04. He lost to Chris Lytle, UFC 49. That was his, he only had one win since that loss. He came in with a 21-10 record before he made that big jump up to the big stage. And then after that, you know, he lost 11 of 12.
But you look at the guys he lost to. Again, Chris Lytle, who's a stud in UFC, Jason Mayhem Miller, Iwase Hiron, who's a stud in the IFL, Thales Lechi, who's like the next big thing at the UFC currently, Frank Trigg, who is an icon, middleweight champion now, Atuna McKee, another stud in IFL. This is like a star stud. Eugene Jackson, also a UFC veteran. Kikuchi is like huge in Japan. Keita Nakamura, you know, he's huge in Shuto, so he always ends up fighting the best of the best. And I always tell him, you know, when you fight the best of the best, it's like a coin toss who wins that night.
Exactly. And I asked him, you know, why didn't you have the success after the UFC than you did before the UFC? He said he put too much pressure on himself, became trying not to lose rather than be confident to win like he did back home. So they're still tending to Ronald Jhun in the corner, and I believe they'll give him about 5 minutes? Is that usually the standard amount of time?
Normally, yes, 5 minutes.
There you see Falonico Vitale, teammate at 808 Fight Factory.
Kai Kamaka's brother-in-law. We're going to see another brother-in-law kind of later, Bretta Cooper. So definitely another fighting family.
You know, we mentioned those losses to Ronald Jhun. How about his victories? Joe Daddy Stevenson and then Ryan Schultz. You know, that was right before the UFC, and Schultz has been, you know, tearing up the IFL.
Exactly, and you know, he had one of probably the best fights ever in Hawaii against Pete Spratt. That was just an all knockout, drag-out war that he kind of walked away from as a winner.
You know, folks who remember Ronald Jhun from back in the day, you know, he started the Jesus is Lord gym out at Waipahu, along with the guy who's going to fight later on tonight, Bretta Cooper. They both left that gym to pursue other things, and he's talking it over right now with his teammate, Falonico Vitale.
You kind of see his eyes kind of clenched up too, so he's having a very hard time looking through that, and it gets to a point that you can't see properly out of one eye. Not only hinders your vision, but also hinders your depth perception. And depth perception is crucial as far as stand-up. You have to stay out of that range and not get tagged as much.
Of course, this is the kinder, gentler MMA now, so the safety of the fighters is paramount. Back in the old days, they said, thumb in the eye, too bad.
Suck it up. Thank God those days are over.
So now
we're going to run out of fighters.
So now we are approaching perhaps the time limit allotted for Ronald Jhun to kind of clean things up in his eye and continue this bout with 2 minutes and 6 seconds left to go in the first round, scheduled for 3.
It's another smart thing that shows his experiences. A lot of fighters, once they kind of feel okay, they kind of jump right back in. experienced fighters are going to take the time they need to recover. You have 5 minutes. Why not use the whole 5 minutes if you actually need it to kind of clear everything up?
So the natives getting restless there here at the Blaisdell, and now they're putting their hands together for Ronald Jhun, who will continue this bout. Dylan Clay has just been chilling out there in his blue corner. Both fighters show a lot of sportsmanship right there, and the fight resumes now. 3 minutes elapsed here in round number 1.
The big problem with Ron, if it is such a problem, is that he's so game that he always takes fights. Sometimes he takes fights, harder fights than he should. Some guys, after a tough loss against a high-quality opponent, they go back and they fight lesser opponents. Like, oh, nice. First spinning back kick followed by a head kick. Nice body shot, too, to land right underneath Jhun's guard. But Ron just comes back and always fights top-notch competition.
He'll go down swinging. If there was an Achilles heel, he does fall to the hands of submissions now and then.
Now his ground game is phenomenal. He fought a grapple press, made it to the finals against probably the best guy. Oh, nice knee to drop him on. The eyes bleeding again.
Jhun now trying to get his opponent close as we're approaching 1 minute left to go in the round. As Jhun trying to pass the guard of Ronald Jhun. That eye is now opened up and blood is streaming down the face of Ronald Jhun on his back.
Clay's doing a good job at keeping pressure, using that distance.
Clay with a couple of... Jhun is taunting Clay to hit him. He says, come on, hit me. Oh, and a big right hand right to the cheek of Ronald Jhun. Boy, be careful what you ask for, Ronald. As Clay tries for the mount, and he can't get it. It has side control, less than 30.
Nice pass by Clay. It goes right to the mount here. Nice sneak through pass, goes right to the mount. He's going to try to take his back.
He's going to try to take the neck.
He's going to watch his neck.
Doesn't have it in yet. Jhun is putting his chin down to... Nope, didn't get the choke in. And now he has the mount. And now Ronald Jhun has to hang on. 10 seconds left to go in the round. Can Jhun survive? As Clay starts to rain it down. 2, 1. And there's the horn. And Ronald Jhun saved by the bell there. And now they'll see if that eye can go one more round here. Boy, it was a bloody mess.
Excellent technique by Dylan Clay. Because Ron has an excellent guard. It's very, very hard to pass this guard. Dylan did a good job at mixing his punches with his pass. You see him as he comes there. He had him down. Good posture here. And what that does, it allows him to kind of punch and generate a lot of power. You see the overhand right? Tags him. Ron acknowledges it. Starts talking a little bit. Sometimes guys anger and they kind of get out of the game. Dylan kind of kept himself real cool, and Ron was really, really mounting to him. I couldn't really make out what he was saying, and he was right in front of us here.
Well, he was right in front. He says, come on, come on. And then Clay hit him with a body shot, and then, Ronald was mouthing off even more. But Dylan Clay looked like, boy, he just had a walk in the park. As for Ronald Jhun, they're going to need a mash unit over there to clean up that eye.
Needs to keep those hands up. Dylan's doing a good job at mixing it up, but also getting back to those eyes.
Dylan Clay, originally from Durango, California, Colorado, I should say, moved to Hawaii in 2001.
See, Ron's very, very disappointed here. Kind of disappointed himself. And usually his worst performances after talking to him is the fights that he gets too emotionally involved. When he sits back, plays his game.
And Ronald Jhun calls it a night. And your winner, and improving now to 6-0, the pride of the Maui Fight Club in Kahului, Maui, Dylan Clay.
That was a huge step up in talent, and he definitely rose to the challenge here.
Now let's get the official announcement from James Brennan.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, blue corner is unable to continue. Right corner is unable to continue. Your winner by TKO victory, Dylan the Big Villain Clay.
Well, still to come on this fight card, the return of a legend who was known to lay the lumber. Bretta Cooper steps back into the ring, but why did he stay away for 2 years?
I work construction and 12-hour, 10-hour shifts, and just didn't have time to train. Well, I could make time, but I didn't want to. It just was all those years was taking a toll of working and training, and my children demanding more time, so I had to stop something.
So after a 2-year layoff, Bretta Cooper will be stepping back into the ring, and that is coming up. But coming up right now, battle of welterweights. Michael Brightman started MMA last year, and basically he has done everything you could ask for in a young fighter. He has an 8-1 record, and they call him the one because he may certainly be the one. He's certainly the up-and-coming one in this local fight scene.
Phenomenal wrestler, and he has very, very powerful hands as well.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, entering the arena, Kolo Koka.
Well, he was originally from Tonga, and this is a guy we haven't seen here on the local fight circuit, at least putting the gloves up for some time, well over a year. He's been doing a lot of refereeing and mending the injuries, but returning back to the BLAISDELL is ice-cold Kolo Koka. He's certainly a legend here in local MMA.
Definitely one of the most exciting fighters, and you want to have some straight punches, chin down action, you'll get it from Kolo Koka.
One of the nicest guys you'll meet outside of the ring, but when he gets in, you don't want to be on the receiving end of those punches. Let's meet the fighters, and James Brennan, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, X1's Extreme Action continues as we move on to our non-title bout of this evening in the welterweight division. Brought to you by Mark and Angel Iohi and Iohi Brothers Trucking. For hauling, demolition, and equipment moving, Iohi Brothers Trucking. This contest is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He comes to us from the Gorilla House and brings in a record of 7 wins, 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you Michael the One Brightman. And his opponent fighting across the ring out of the red corner. Originally from Tonga, now fighting out of Kaneohe. Ladies and gentlemen, he brings in a record of 12 wins, 11 defeats. He is the former X1 lightweight champion. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Ice Cold Kolo Koka.
Well, we take a look at the tail of the tape, and the only loss by Brightman was to Ross the Boss Ibanez, a fight he took with only 1 or 2 weeks' notice, and it's good to see Kolo Koka back fighting again.
Definitely had some injuries, like we said before, some back problems, some shoulder. I think, the regular injuries you expect from a guy who's so as active and as much wars as Kolo Koka. But he said he feels good. He took a couple exhibition matches. He said he feels good, so he wanted to come in and try to slowly step it back up. But it's a huge beast in front of him, Michael Brightman.
Brightman in the black trunks, Koka in the camouflage trunks. Oh, and a quick exchange of punches. Oh, nice knee by Koka. Brightman takes his opponent right to the ground.
It's a huge amount of power there. It's kind of even fell weird, was still able to throw over Koka, who's a very, very strong under 70-pounder.
Brightman came on to the local MMA scene as a polished wrestler. He was the California State 160-pound wrestling champion in high school. And we saw a lot of just his wrestling skills and grappling on the ground. He really didn't develop a punch. Boy, and you and I did the Champions card back in January where he defeated Anthony Torres. And boy, that first round, we saw perhaps the hardest punch thrown by Michael Brightman to date.
Everybody says he has incredible strength when you grapple with him, but a lot of guys can't convert that type of strength to punching power. We've seen he's definitely able to convert the punching power.
Well, he says he's worked on his hand speed by working up at the Pololo Boxing Gym, so he's working on another aspect of his mixed martial arts game.
He's kind of a stiff type of stand-up guy, but he's got so much power and his wrestling is so good. And it's a good advantage for him to test out his stand-up because when he knows he can always go to the ground whenever he wants to. You see Kolo kind of riding his guard up kind of high, trying to set up maybe an arm bar possibly. Brightman wants to keep those hips nice and square and flat on that ground.
Referee Chris West pressing the action, telling the fighters to get busy or they're going to stand them up. As Brightman's trying to pass the guard of Koka, and he does pass it.
Nice job by Kolo getting back up. Kolo can stuff a couple of takedowns. Keep the fight standing a little more, definitely to his advantage. Kind of working on those knees.
Huge foot stomp. And another foot stomp. And that delights the Blaisdell crowd.
Definitely see those toes just shattering underneath the heels of Kolo.
I tried the uppercut but didn't hit.
It's exactly where Kolo wants to be. Standing up, exchanging.
Oh, nice left by Koka.
Good job of mixing up those punches and kicks as well.
Brightman misses. That right might have snuck into the jaw of Brightman.
Kolo's been working on his hands for a long, long time, and you can definitely see every single fight he gets better. And he's one of those guys that you can tell he's working on stuff, but he actually tries it out in the ring, and that's how you're going to get a lot better when you try it in combat.
Well, you talked about those injuries. He had a pinched nerve in his neck. And, well, he said it was excruciating. He tried everything, a lot of therapy, and went to a lot of doctors. And nice overhand right by Koka. On the left and the right. Koka bringing the full arsenal now as Brightman is in trouble.
Good variety of punches again, and when Brightman had his hands up, he went back to the legs. Nice setup with his punches with his leg kicks, setting his leg kicks with his punches. Excellent. Back and forth.
Mike, early on, I am seeing the experience of a Kolo Koka taking over the early part of this fight.
Definitely. He's picking them apart, basically, is what's happening here. Brightman's kind of looking for that one punch. Kolo's punching in bunches. Mixing up those kicks.
Less than 60 seconds left to go here in round one. Brightman has one hook in and they go out of the ring. And he brings him back in the ring. So I was talking about that neck injury to Kolo Koka as he finds himself on his back. He tried everything, a lot of doctors, and he went to a physical therapist by the name of Diane Fernandez, who really killed him with the treatment, but boy, in 2 weeks, everything was all cleared, and he was able to resume his training. So the doctor there in Kailua had the miracle touch for Kolo Koka.
They tried chiropractic, acupuncture, everything, just rest, and
he said nothing where he thought he was done from fighting because of the excruciating pain. 10 seconds left as they resume in the center of the ring. Brightman in Koka's guard. And by the time they figure out this jigsaw puzzle, there's the horn, signifying the end of round one. So who took that round, Mike Unzuka?
I gotta say, Kolo Koka with the more accurate punches. He stunned Brightman a couple times, but to Brightman's credit, he has a great chin because he takes a lot of punishment here. Here's the close with those stomps, those heels just crushing those toes.
Dropping a bowling ball on your foot.
Yeah, but then when you see those toes, you start lifting your feet up, even if you're not. You see those punches right there. Nice crisp turnover punches. Slips it in. Nice straight right that kind of staggers Michael Brightman right there. Misses with that knee there, but did a good job at, again, switching his punches up, going to knees, going back to legs to open up the punches. Excellent work by Koka.
Brightman is a guy that kind of can fluctuate in weight, and so can Koka. In fact, he says he's at his true weight right now at 170. He beat a number of his opponents on his way to 12 wins at 170, and he lost a lot of fights when he dropped down to 155. He said he lost a lot of punching power.
Some guys become more powerful, and some guys just take so much out of them to even make that weight at 155, 160. That's detrimental, and Kolo's one of those guys. He's just a big dude.
So as we start round number 2, good exchange of punches right there by both fighters. Nice jab by Brightman.
Brightman's kind of following Kolo's lead by starting off with the kick and following with the punches.
Good overhand right by Koka. It found its mark. Oh, big right hand by Koka. Brightman ties him up as Koka has his underhooks in.
Brightman's so difficult to get down. Nice job by Koka. You know, I've seen guys get real deep on Brightman, and he's just are able to kind of hip right out of that. This is a huge opportunity for Kolo to have a guy like Brightman on his back, because he's not the best on his back. If there's one place to have Michael Brightman, it's on his back.
Koka now, the skilled veteran now, trying to pass the guard of Brightman. If you try to hit Brightman in the stomach, he kind of just laughs at you. This is a guy that does 500 to 600 sit-ups a night. You gotta hit him with a baseball bat to make a dent in that stomach.
It shows, man. I don't know what the guy's eating, but
you know, I used to have abs like that.
Mine's still there. I just kind of lost them. I don't know where I went.
They're hiding around the fat.
And they went in hibernation for the winter and never came back out.
It's Koka now. The hammer throw now. Again and again.
Brightman doing a good job at trying to block those punches and kind of letting it graze off his forearms.
Fist slaps by Koka. Brightman just trying to tie up the arms of Koka, who's in a dominant position now. And now trying to pass the guard. And Chris West is going to bring him back into the center of the ring and reposition in the same way they went out.
Kolo needs to hang onto those legs and make sure that Brightman doesn't get the foot of the hips and push away and stand back up.
There you go. Your turn. There you go.
He's using a variety of punches like that little back fist and hammer fist. Those are kind of weird because it's difficult to defend those awkward, punches. Simple hand up on the ear or hand up on the forehead doesn't really block those.
Yeah, Brightman doesn't know where it's coming from. Brightman trying to hold on to the hands of Koka.
There you go. Other hand.
How much longer they're just going to keep them on the ground here.
There you go. Keep working.
Suppose if you're advancing your position, you're causing damage, and these are not really causing too much damage to Michael Brightman. Sakuraba, double karate chop there. You can see how strong his grips are. Michael Brightman's been able to hold Koka, who's an extremely strong guy. Can't get his arm down.
Stand him back up and resume the fight here. Perhaps to Koka's advantage. The more true boxer of the two.
Nice right 1-2 combination.
See how Brightman is ducking his head when he's throwing? Same thing you were talking about. Can't see your target. Might be a sign of fatigue, but you look at a guy like Brightman, he's just so in shape.
Definitely a tendency for guys when they exchange and they got hit early to drop their head, and so a lot of it's this inexperience of sparring.
Coming up on 1 minute left to go here in round number 2. Scheduled for 3, Koka in the camouflage and Michael Brightman in the black trunks. Brightman out of Gorilla House, born in Compton, California, is both go out of the ring, and they will break with 45 seconds left to go. And restart in the center.
Hey, Kolo, get the center, yeah? Move. Hey, move.
Stiff punch there by Brightman.
You know, I just don't see the intensity that Brightman showed against Anthony Torres a couple of months ago.
Kind of stumbled him right there at that right.
Brightman was a lot more active, punching and being more aggressor in that fight. Here he's just kind of following around where Koka takes him.
I think a lot of guys underestimate the amount of conditioning that gets punched out of you. You know, when you take a lot of blows, guys say, oh, they're in great conditioning, but you take a lot of blows, it takes a lot of conditioning out. It's hard to come back. And a couple of those exchanges, as they separated, Brightman took some deep breaths. You know, we're not used to seeing Brightman winded. We'll see if Kolo has the conditioning to kind of keep that pace for one more round here.
Kolo Koka at 32 years of old. I asked Brightman, who is 22 years, so he's given up 10 years. He says, I know Kola is an old fighter, so I guess this show fits him. But all legends have to come to an end, and I'm the one to do it. The amazing things that get out of these fighters, exactly. You know, the weeks before fight night. He's an old fighter at 32. He's washed up. Well, we got another old fighter coming up, Egan Inoue, 10 years older than Koka. And Egan Inoue, the main event still to come here. X1 World Events presents Legends. We are ready to start the third and final 5 minutes. Brightman and Koka. The veteran and the newbie. Brightman has come out with a little bit more. Oh! Big hand! Koka goes down, and Brightman is bringing the pain right up against the ropes. Koka trying to hold on, and now Brightman in a full mount. Blood in the water, sensing the end is near. Can Koka fend off the attack?
Koka's doing a good job at kind of staying busy. Nice escape from the mount there, a little elbow escape there. Brightman's doing a good job at controlling that wrist. Looking for a little key lock.
Chris was saying no elbows to the head of a ground opponent. Time? They're going to call time.
Legal strike. Legal strike, elbow to the head.
Chris West is going to say an illegal strike to the head. It was an elbow to the head.
Time to regain. My time.
So they're going to give some time for Kolo Koka to kind of shake it off. An illegal strike by Michael Brightman. Warned him once and then he did it again.
Kind of an interesting position as well, because he's just about to lock up a key lock, Americana position right there. And, you know, if the time to do it when your opponent's a little bit dazed and confused, and that's what it looked like. You know, it does look like it affected Kolo a lot.
Take his confidence out. Win the takedown.
We're going to take a look at the replay. Oh, yep. It's the elbow to the head. And he said, Chris West says once, and Brightman acknowledged, and then he did it again right after that. So in that situation, will they deduct a point? I don't know if he did.
I think normally they get one warning.
Let's take another look as Koka collects himself in the neutral corner.
Here he goes. Kind of locking up the arm, comes in. Nice point that you can kind of see the effect, and Kolo's kind of looking up and saying, hey, that's illegal, man. What's up with that?
If anyone knows it was illegal, it would be Kolo Koka.
Kind of hit him on that jaw, too, which is not a good place to catch an elbow.
I'm just thinking Kolo Koka and the wars that he's been in, he's taken a lot worse to the head than that.
Definitely. The older you get, the wiser you get. I'm sure he doesn't want to take a lot more of them.
So it certainly can scramble those brains in there. So 4:05 left to go in the third and final round. Chris West looks at Kolo Koka, brings the poke to the center, and we are resuming this fight. Right again, the attack by Brightman.
Lorenzo did a good job. He sensed Kolo was tired, and he was really aggressive from the start of this match. And you can see him kind of like dominating, taking the gas that Kolo had out.
Keep that, Kolo. Keep that grip, Kolo. Keep that, Kolo. You cannot hurt you from there. Don't lose, Mike. Reset the middle. Fight, break, reset the middle.
Okay.
Everybody can hear except for Michael Brightman right there.
I think everybody heard in the Blaisdell except for him.
Side.
Get some instructions from his manager there in the corner.
Ready? Fight.
3 minutes left to go here in the third and final round.
We're trying to lock up that key lock again.
There you go, sit up.
Trying to fight his way from the bottom position.
Trying to make some space by using that arm block right there.
Put your right arm in.
Be careful of that arm.
Push it right over.
Bringing the arm back. Koka won't let him have it. Brightman once again with the arm. Putting the Glock in, and once again, Koka gets out of it.
He's not doing a good job at keeping Kolo square on the ground.
You
You can fold that arm underneath, but if you can elevate his hips up and get his shoulder up, it kind of increases the flexibility of the shoulder. Kolo's doing a good job of staying busy. Made it difficult for Mike to lock that arm down and that shoulder down.
Wheeling around is Koka. Can he complete the switch now? And he goes back into guard.
It's a sneaky little switcher. Almost got a sweep out of that.
Good job by the veteran there on his back to avert the armbar. Less than 2 minutes left to go here in the third and final round between Michael Brightman on top and Kolo Koka on the bottom.
Use your position, top man.
Koka was stunned at the beginning of the third round with a flurry of punches and then an illegal hit.
Use your position to stand up.
It'd be interesting to see if the judges kind of score this at 10-8 because of that knockdown earlier. We dropped him in the corner. And now with him dominating top position. Not doing damage, but the damage has been done earlier.
Well, we saw a more aggressive Michael Brightman here in the third. Kind of lackluster in the first 2 rounds, but really turned it on when he needed to. So he is still trying to get past Koka's guard.
Seems like he's not as effective in the close guard from the cross side and from the half guard. Very effective, very aggressive. He's not as aggressive here where he needs to be.
Less than 60 seconds, and Chris West will stand the 2 fighters up. And Koka shoots in, and a good sprawl defense by Brightman, who now with side control.
This is where he was effective before. He's going to go right after that key lock, see if he can finish this fight.
Hey, right there, make space. Shrimp out, backside, shrimp.
30 seconds left.
There you go, recover guard.
Nice job by Kolo. He's going to try to sneak out the back.
Again.
Nice doing a good job of controlling that elbow. If he keeps that elbow up. Whoa, nice job by Kolo by turning this fight.
Finds himself right back in the headlock. Might have been a little too late. Oh, and a nice switch there. But it might be too little too late for Kolo Koka, as this fight will come to an end. And the fate of these 2 fighters rests in the hands of the judges at ringside.
Great fight by both guys. Kolo definitely showing improved stand-up. Was picking him up our first 2 rounds, and then the aggression of Michael Brightman finally showed up in round number 3. But is it a little too late to kind of steal this, maybe steal the draw? If he got that 10-8 round in the third round.
But like you've seen in a lot of Michael Brightman's fights, I mean, he's just a strong guy that just frustrates opponents because he's so strong. He may not be technically sound, but he's strong and he's athletic.
He's a grinder. He kind of grinds out matches and wears guys down, just kind of pummels them and pummels them.
Let's take a look when Kolo Koka kind of hit the deck.
A nice right hand right to the temple there. Boom. See those knees buckle. Sits him right down. Mike did a good job at coming right in, keeping those hips inward. And here's that little bridge.
Almost got it.
That's phenomenal how he stayed on top right there. Got a little shoulder, that one leg, still able to keep the top.
Well, the veteran and the newcomer of MMA, Koka and Brightman. And we go up to James Brennan, and he has the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards here at the Blaisdell, where all three judges are in agreement, scoring it 29-28. Your winner by unanimous decision, Ice Cold Kolo Koka.
Wow, Michael Zuka, are you surprised?
No, I'm not actually. I thought he won the first 2 rounds, and Michael Brightman won the 3rd round, so that's exactly what I would have scored at 29-28 for Kolo Koka.
Well, if you talked about the knockdown, well, you said he won that round in probably a 10-8 round. But Kolo Koka winning the first 2 rounds, you say, enough to eke out the decision.
Definitely. MMA, it's difficult to get a 10-8 round, a legitimate 10-8 round. If you kind of come back, you can fight back to a 10-9 round. If you kind of beat the crap out of the guy, then you get the 10-8.
Well, still to come, the main event and the return of legendary superstar Egan Inoue. 19 years separate Inoue and his opponent tonight, Marrero. So what do they know about each other?
My opponent, Hans, he's a submission guy. He's won his fights all by submission. And, you know, that's about all I know. And always young. I wanted somebody young, and for one reason, and the only reason is because when you're young, like I remember when I was 23, a lot of energy, never get tired, and that's what I wanted to put myself up against.
You know, Egan's going to be one of my toughest fights. He's Pride veteran. You know, he's been around a long time, and he's coming out of retirement, I think, 4 years, so he hasn't fought in a while. But you know, you go back to what's your basics. You know, you go back to your subconscious mind, and he probably fights the same way. And he's a good fighter. You know, so stand up. He's got good ground. He's a well-rounded fighter. Definitely a well-rounded fighter.
So that is the main event coming up a little bit later on, but right now it's championship time here at the Blaisdell. On the line, the vacant X1 lightweight title, and making his way into the arena, one of the challengers, a 22-year-old Richie Whitson from Alaska. Take it away, James.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, entering the arena, Richie Whitson.
So 22-year-old Richie Whitson from Alaska, out of the cold into the balmy weather of Honolulu, Hawaii. He fought 10 days ago in Alaska, and before the fight we asked him why would he take this fight on short notice.
Well, I would. I mean, I didn't get hurt during my last fight, and when you get a call from a bigger show like this, and you get a good opportunity like this, I mean, you have to take it. I mean, there's no question for me, so.
So Whitson at 3-0, a youngster at 22 years of age. Boy, he's stepping into the Hornets' nest tonight against one of the legends here in Hawaii.
And his opponent, Bretta Cooper.
Well, the name says it all. He is the other contender for the X1 lightweight championship, and that legend is Bretta Cooper.
Bretta Cooper, 34 years old, freestyle fighter. I don't know if I'm a boxer who can wrestle or a wrestler who can box. You know, I'm pretty decent standing up, and I'm pretty decent wrestling. Submissions, I don't have too much submissions, but I'm decent in that also. My fights always end up striking. You know, I don't know why. I set a game plan, and I just want to strike most of the time, and that's how it ends up, striking.
So the 34-year-old legend who last fought on April 6th on a Rumble on the Rock, defeated Koji Yoshida, and he's ready to get back into the fight game. Let's meet the fighters, and here's James Brennan.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fight Night at the Blaisdell continues. Brought to you by Dave & Buster's for all your family fun needs. Check out Dave & Buster's at the Ward Entertainment Complex. This bout is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds for the vacant X1 Lightweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, coming to us from Sitka, Alaska. He brings along with him an undefeated record of 3 wins, no defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, now let's hear it for Richie Whitson. And his opponent fighting across the ring out of the red corner, coming to us by way of Pearl City. He brings in a professional MMA record of 14 wins, 8 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you Bretta Cooper.
So the tale of the tape, the age difference, the experience, but it's good to see Bretta Ray back in the ring.
He's phenomenal. He's such a modest guy. He says his submissions a little bit. The guy's phenomenal. The guy walked into my gym. I have a whole bunch of studs in my gym. 8 months, no grappling after the Dennis Hoffman fight. Schooled some of my best wrestlers. Put them down. The guy's flawless on the ground. He touches guys with his hands. They fall down. They go to sleep early.
A big-time puncher. 8 of his 14 victories have been via TKO or KO. He can bring lumber.
People forget that he fought Hermes Franco, who took his current, Sean Shirk, who was a former UFC lightweight champion, 5 rounds and almost retired him, knocked him out, rolled his eyes back in his head.
Takedown by Bretta Cooper.
He's got a guillotine on Ray, but Ray's got good position here. Takes it right out. Good solid positioning.
A lot of people remember him as a striker, but he has certainly worked on his ground game. In fact, he was preparing to fight Sugar Shane Nelson for this title. Sugar Shane had to pull out. X1 stripped him of the belt. And so if you know anything about Sugar Shane Nelson, comes out of the BJ Penn school, a good Brazilian jiu-jitsu grappler.
Great wrestler in his own right as well. And Shea Witten is a good kickboxer. Nice escape from Ray.
Oh, big hit! Big hit by Cooper on Whitson.
Ray's doing a good job of staying nice and tight and close, not letting the striker kind of get a lucky punch on him. And training, I heard Ray went in and trained with 808, his brother-in-law's sparred with Harris Hitman Sarmiento, one of the best kickboxers, 155, and actually dropped Harris with a body shot. And nobody drops him, Chris. I've seen Harris in wars. I've never seen him go down like that.
Another one of his training partners is also his oldest son. He's got 6 kids. His oldest son is a student at Pearl City High School, a wrestler, took 3rd in the States.
Yeah, as a freshman, it's insane.
And he's been rolling around the mat with his eldest son and helping him prepare to get back into the sport he so loves.
He's been doing a good job of defending takedowns. His Ray's very, very solid with his takedowns. Great positioning.
Good job by Whitson to just keep it tied up. Oh, and a good flurry. Whitson comes out swinging. He knows through the legend of Bretta Cooper, he knows that he was a slugger back in the day.
He has nothing to lose too, and he's doing a good job upon those breaks. Whitson's throwing hard punches. You can see him kind of measuring up. See him make some space at that shoulder.
Into the middle of the ring. Cooper now. Elbow to the head by Whitson. Left, right, doesn't hit. Cooper trying to show his strength and go. Boy, good takedown defense by Whitson. Wouldn't let the legend take him down. Oh, and a nice little short pop of the left hand by Whitson.
He's doing a great job at defending the takedowns. Getting good position with that dirty boxing where he's tying them up, but still able to strike.
Being close like that. Oh, and a big left hand. Caught him flesh on the cheek.
Kind of stalking his prey, but Whitson's doing a good job. That's what he wants to do. He wants to stick and move, stay outside of Ray's range. This looks like a huge 155er too, because Ray used to fight most of his career at 170 pounds.
Right.
This looks a lot bigger.
Less than a minute 30 left to go here in the first for the vacant X1 lightweight championship. Cooper looks to be in great shape. Oh, caught him with the right hand. It's cracked to the face by Bretta Cooper. Both sides. Oh, down goes Cooper. Down goes Cooper. Oh, and he's knocked out. Wow. Wow. And a stunner here at the Blaisdell, 22-year-old Richie Whitson. He fought 10 days ago up in Alaska. Took the fight on only 4 days' notice. And he has knocked out the legend, Bretta Cooper, who's still trying to find out what hit him. Let's take a look at the replay. Oh, and Cooper came with the left. And watch the big right hand. And down goes Bretta Cooper. Wow. Tremendous power by Richie Whitson. And Richie Whitson. Boy, what a gamer. And let's hear the official announcement from James Brennan.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 3 minutes, 54 seconds of round number 1. Your winner by knockout and the X1 lightweight champion, Richie Whitson.
Wow, you got to give a lot of props to this guy who comes out of the cold and stuns this Honolulu crowd. Let's set it up topside and my partner, Mike Unzuka, who has the champion.
Here with Richie Whitson. First of all, coming in, Ray's a huge legend here. You fought 10 days ago. You know, what did you know about Ray coming into this fight?
I knew he was tough. He has wins over some real game opponents. And it was just an honor to even come here and fight him. I thank him for taking the fight with me. I mean, it was awesome. Thanks, Ray. Thanks.
You did a good job at defending his takedowns and avoiding punches. Also, on the clinches and escape from the clinches, you're very aggressive. Was that your game plan?
I was just came out here to fight. You know, he hit me with some hard ones, for sure.
Well, we're gonna see you back in Hawaii.
Oh, of course. I love it here.
Congratulations, man. Good fight.
Thanks.
Richie
Whitson.
Whitson, the new holder of the X1 lightweight title belt. You know, he says on his MySpace he plans to win the lottery and live a carefree life. He won the lottery tonight. And sitting with me ringside is the X1 middleweight champion, fellow Nico Vitale. And Nico,
Wow.
are you stunned?
I'm very, very stunned. I'm pretty surprised right now. Who is this kid, man? You know,
Who is this guy? As we take a look at some of the replays.
Wow, you know, I think, you know, he threw some clean punches, but I think that left hook was real lucky. But yeah, I give him credit. You know, he came to bang with Bretta, and I expected Bretta to win this fight with a knockout. And then went the other way.
Well, Michael Nzuka, from your vantage point, did Whitson just brought the power and just stunned, you know, this kid, Bretta Cooper?
Definitely. He was very aggressive, and that's what you want to do when you fight a guy named, try to kind of get him off his game by being overly aggressive. He's very, very good at stopping Ray's takedown because Ray has incredible takedowns. And upon the clinch and escaping the clinch, he was aggressive with his punching, which kind of, I think, won him the fight.
Nico, you've been in this situation before. You come in and you got a lot of things going for you, and all of a sudden you walk out of the building holding your head, and what happened to you? What's going through Bretta Cooper's mind right now?
Oh, man, you know, right now he's just probably feeling a little bit down right now. But, you know, Bretta, I know his heart, man, he can always come back after this victory, you know, I mean, after this loss. He's going to come back. I'm sure, you know, he's a champion himself, you know. But, wow, I'm just surprised right now.
Well, you know, he told me before the fight, Nico, that his plans was to go after the World Shuto Championship, a championship that has eluded him over the years. Does this kind of derail his plans right now?
No, actually, you know, he has to go back home, you know, see what he did wrong tonight. I think it was ring rust that probably affected him tonight. But, you know, knowing Bretta, he comes back after a loss like this and comes back bigger, and hopefully he can get a bigger fight.
Okay, you're going to sit right here. It's great that we have just two legends of MMA sitting right next to me, Nico Vitale and Michael Nzuka, which brings us now to our Welterweight Championship. And let's meet one of the fighters in James Brennan.
Now entering the ring, Chad Reiner.
Chad Reiner is the X1 welterweight title holder. He won that title back in January of 2008 when he stunned this Blaisdell Arena crowd with a victory over the former champion Mark Moreno, broke Moreno's ribs. He also defeated Moreno back in November of 2007. And Michael Nzuka, this guy not only brings it with his fist, he's an excellent grappler on the ground.
Definitely has a huge amount of wrestling experience that he brings into every single fight.
So Reiner coming from Omaha, Nebraska, wearing the belt and very confident. And he has to be because he's taking on one of the young studs in MMA here in Hawaii. Go, Jimmy. Go, Jimmy. He's ready. Go, Jim. Tell him to go. Next fight.
Now entering the ring, Brandon Wolff.
Well, when you talk studs in any subject, not MMA, but just in life, Brandon Wolff is a guy that would be in the dictionary that describes that. Brandon Wolff, a former Navy SEAL, served his country, an excellent fighter all the way around representing the MMA team out of Kailua.
And if one guy knows about Brandon Wolff and his style and his strength, it's Nico Vitale. What do you think of how prepared is Brandon Wolff for this fight?
You know what? When I see him train, man, he's totally nonstop training every single day, every day. You know, he's been training hard. He's been calling me up to come train with him, you know. But I've only seen him once a week, you know, and I've been talking to him a lot. He'll be ready for this fight.
Okay, let's meet the fighters in James Brennan. Take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our co-main event of this evening. 5 5-minute rounds for the X1 Welterweight Championship. Brought to you by IA Bowl, a new experience in entertainment. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, coming to us by way of Kailua. He brings with him a record of 6 wins, 2 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you Brandon Wolff. And his opponent fighting across the ring out of the blue corner, coming to us by way of Omaha, Nebraska, bringing a record of 17 wins, 3 defeats. He is the X1 Welterweight Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Grinder, Chad Reiner.
So as we take a look at the tail of the tape, and boy, for Reiner, 9 of those 17 victories have been by way of submission.
He's phenomenal on the ground. He says he's a jiu-jitsu blue belt, but his wrestling experience always puts him in good positions in order to dominate. Very aggressive with his elbows and busy on the ground.
This is going to be a war. 5 5-minute rounds where conditioning now will take its toll. In talking with both fighters, they said, boy, if there was a fighter that I wanted to go 5 rounds with, Wolff said it would be Chad Reiner, and Reiner said it would be Brandon Wolff. Both in excellent shape.
Reiner actually came into my gym on Tuesday, get his last little roll in, and rolled with a bunch of guys, probably 6 guys for maybe 6 minutes apiece. In great shape, went hard. Nice right hand by Brandon Wolff. But as we've seen before in his fight with Mark Moreno, Reiner has a great chin. He can take a lot of damage. Nice takedown by Brandon Wolff, right to the mouth position.
Right to the mouth, first takedown of the night. Let's see what Brandon Wolff can work from the dominant position. Reiner is a very, very skilled wrestler from the bottom position.
Reiner's going to probably want to try to create a scramble here, but you know this might even be a better position for Brandon Wolff because he locked that leg up. He's able to stop Chad from kind of getting up, and usually wrestlers always get up with that bottom leg. And Brandon's really, really heavy hipped.
Nico, and something that we've seen of Chad Reiner, he never gets flustered. He always remains calm, even though if he's on his back.
Like a true champion, he's always calm and collected, even though he's fighting off his back, you know, just by watching him fight. The man's a champion.
Good job by Brandon Wolff here, staying busy on top. Slip that elbow in. Chad almost got that. He likes to kind of sneak to the back, too. Lock that elbow in, lock it down, sneak to the back. Wolff did a good job by coming back in, squaring off those hips.
Chris West is warning Chad Reiner about blows to the back of the head. Now, you mentioned Reiner rolling around in your gym this week. As for Brandon Wolff, when he was doing some training at MMAD out in Kailua, he was going 5-minute rounds, each with a fresh fighter every round, just to build up his cardio.
Yeah, Rob Hissia, who's the wrestling coach at MMAD, says he sees these guys, him and his brother, he has a twin brother, and they just go off and just knock the blocks off of each other, man, in practice.
But how's that? Okay, you bring in another fresh 5-minute fighter to go another round with him, and he's still in the ring. Oh, and another warning here. No downward strikes. Maybe Reiner didn't attend that fighters meeting before the bout started. He's kind of questioning the calls of referee Chris West. Wolff trying to pass the guard of Reiner. There is blood coming from the left eye area of Chad Reiner, as Wolff has now been in a dominant position for most of this round.
So a good job at creating space and utilizing that space to throw some nice, solid punches. Good posture here. He can throw a lot of power in those punches. He just has to worry about keeping those hips nice and square. So then sneak out to the side, an arm bar or a drag.
Break right here, guys. Break. Reset in the middle.
Nico, what do you think of Brandon Wolff thus far?
You know what? Pretty surprised with his ground skills, because when I first trained with Brandon 6 years ago, the guy had no ground skills, no wrestling skills. My man, I guess he polished his game real well, and then now look at him right now. He's on top, pounding the head of Chad right now.
Now the blood coming out of the left eye area of Chad Reiner is of huge concern for him. Blood keeps streaming out, and if you're Brandon Wolff, you serve as a target there.
Watch the armbar. Good job by stepping up, and he passes. This is where Reiner's going to kind of go after that leg, here, belly down, and suck in a single. Nice job.
Oh, and he's going to get his back. Oh, good job by Reiner not to give up the neck.
Excellent job by Rope. Switching positions and kind of beating Reiner to the punch here. Wolff's doing a good job at being patient and holding the position. A lot of guys, they're too aggressive with that left hand instead of holding an underhook and keeping him on his back. Vicious elbow there.
Less than 20 seconds left to go here in round one as Reiner trying to cover up. 10 seconds left, and I believe Reiner will be just content on waiting out these last seconds and get into the corner and get some first aid on that eye. And there's the bell signifying the end of the first round, scheduled for 5. Boy, if we have 4 more rounds like that, we're in for a treat.
Definitely. Excellent showing by Brandon Wolff. I think Reiner has like 12 or 15 years in wrestling. Phenomenal wrestler. And Wolff just put him down, controlled him, and not only controlled him on the ground, also punished him. You see that little exchanges right here? Huge left hook that kind of rocks him a little bit.
Yeah, Chad, he has to be careful, man. The guy's Brandon Wolff stand-up is real awesome. You don't want to get hit. I got hit by him one time to the body. He took me down. My first time I ever sparred with him. Man, Brandon's real tough.
As we'll see, a punch to the head now.
Setting up that arm lock right here. Good job by pulling out that arm. Goes right in the cross side right there. Excellent defense from awkward position. You know, that was a very, very good position for Chad Raynell to pull off that arm bar. And perfect timing by Wolff to get out of that situation.
Brandon Wolff, 2 of his losses were in a K1 event at Aloha Stadium, or at least one of his losses were at a K1 event at Aloha Stadium. He's 6-2, and Chad Reiner coming off a loss that he lost to Dan Hardy in England by TKO. He said it wasn't a TKO. He said it was just the referee stopped the fight from strikes while he was on the ground. Well, that's a TKO, it's a stoppage. He kept telling me he didn't want it to go down the books as a TKO as the second round starts now. And Reiner's a little bit more active. We've seen this before in the Moreno fight. He kind of let Mark punch his way out. Oh, nice high kick.
I think he's hard in that one.
Oh.
He caught the shin in that one.
As Wolff continued to exert his dominance from on top.
He's trying to sneak in a guillotine. He has a very, very nice guillotine. Nice.
Going from Kimura. Can Reiner hold it off?
Good defense by Reiner. We see how Brandon Wolff, even if he lost it, he still kind of gained his position, kept his position here, gives him more opportunities to dominate. Oh,
watch
nice.
out the armbar.
That was a quick armbar right there. Excellent defense.
2 times now, Brandon Wolff has recognized Reiner going for the armbar. It was quick enough to pull his arm out. Brandon Wolff almost had Reiner's back. You know, that's how he got the name in high school, the Grinder. He just outlasts everyone. He's just very frustrating to a lot of fighters. Slips in and out very effectively.
Just excellent riding position here by Brandon Wolff. Controlling those hips, breaking them down.
Nico, how troublesome will that blood be to the eye? Oh, that was a great move.
I don't think it's a problem right now for Chad. The blood is not like it's gushing out or anything, but from here, from this position where we watch it, I think he's all right.
It just looks nasty. So Wolff with side control on Chad Reiner on the ground. Reiner, the champion here at X1 in the welterweight division. Brandon Wolff would no doubt like to bring that belt back to Hawaii. 2 minutes have elapsed here in the second round, scheduled for 5. If it goes to full distance, that's 25 minutes of MMA combat.
Brandon's doing a good job also by pacing himself as well, keeping good position, staying heavy. Reiner's working hard. Oh, nice switch there. It's a short guillotine. And just suck it in and arch back and wants to lock those legs down so he can put his hips up.
Does he have it deep enough?
It's difficult to finish in this position.
And he lets it go. And now Reiner gets Wolff in a headlock. Lets it go.
See if he can kind of capitalize in this top position. Majority of the fight, he's been on his back. Looking for that key lock as well.
Reiner now in command of this fight from the top position. Wolff trying to switch, and he does switch. Nice job. As both fighters go to their feet. Reiner throwing knees and punches. Wolff trying to back away and defend himself. Oh, and a nice counter punch by Wolff. Knee to the head by Reiner. Knees. Steady diet of knees to the head of Wolff. Wolff trying to cover up now. And he backs him into the corner.
Throwing a lot of knees, but none of them landing. Excellent defense. What happens is when you throw those knees, it takes a lot out of you to bring those knees up constantly. And it causes no damage. Paul in his best interest to kind of keep himself in the defensive position, let him try to kick and knee himself out.
That's why you don't see me throwing those knees, man. It's a lot of work.
60 seconds left to go here in the second. It's been an exciting fight from the get-go. Wolff on the bottom, Reiner on top. Reiner the champion. Almost got his man off.
Good job at bumping to kind of get out of that arm lock attempt.
Reiner fought twice in the UFC in 2007. He is 0-2 in that organization. Says he will never fight for the UFC again. Had a very, very bad experience there. Well, when you lose, that can't be a good experience. Half guard, trying for them out, trying to slip past now, with 20 seconds left to go here in the second.
There you go. Couple more shots. Feel around. That's it, feel around.
10 seconds. Very, very tactical fight thus far from these two 170-pound contestants.
That's where we're going to see the conditioning come into play. Nico, at the end of your fights, at the end of the second round, where do you think is where the rounds of champions? They always say it's the last round, but you just not the last round yet. Halfway through the fight, you see some guys kind of fading.
Well, a lot of people don't realize, man, you really got to train for conditioning. Man, when the third round hits or second round hits, man, I'm already tired. A lot of people don't know, but this sport is the tough sport to prepare for. And right now, I'm feeling them right now. Man. Just watching Brandon right now. Oh, God.
Well, Nico, we just saw the replay up there of the high kick by Brandon Wolff, got him with the shin. You called it right away. As Reiner was a little hurt there, he started to throw the knees, but they were ineffective as Brandon Wolff was covering up.
He pretty much needed to follow up on that one, but I guess he didn't see him get stunned a little. I saw Reiner got stunned, but he recovered.
Well, Brandon Wolff talked before the fight about this is the fight he wanted to fight. Many of his fights have been quick knockouts, quick submissions. He knew Chad Reiner was a type of fighter that could go the distance with him. He says if it's available to take him out early, he will. But this is a guy that wants to work out, wants to get in 5-5s. And that would be a great treat for the folks here at the Blaisdell and those watching at home.
Also, we're talking about it early, Nico. When guys come in great shape and you start getting exchanged, you start getting hit early, how much does that take out of your conditioning? Because you see a lot of guys get gassed when, kind of early in the match when they get hit hard. As a guy who actually got hit a lot and hit other guys, you can kind of see it. What is going through your head when guys hitting you? Do you feel like your conditioning going down?
Well, it comes with experience and sparring. And I believe in sparring a lot because, when getting pressured and getting hit, it takes a lot out of you.
So you just kind of get used to being hit and kind of pushing through it.
Exactly.
Oh, nice left hand. This is the range that Wolff wants to be right here. He's real slick with that left hook, setting up with the jabs, giving good angles. Oh, man.
Wolff now trying to zero in on the target. Push kick, follows up with a left. Jab to the left. Oh, Reiner stuck in a left jab. High kick blocked by Wolff.
I think it's a mistake to stand up with Brandon right now. Brandon is a seasonal striker. He spars the biggest guys in the gym, but I think Chad should be careful.
We also seen Raynell take some heavy hits from Mark Moreno, who could be the hardest hitter at 170 and still keep coming. But you definitely see that Brandon Wolff has it kind of, his punch is kind of dialed in there.
Looks like they're playing with each other right now.
Yeah, it sure does. Looks like they're just kind of trying to see which one will blink first. Reiner did that to Moreno, kind of let Moreno just kind of punch himself out. And then he would come in for the kill, and he did that twice to Mark Moreno. But Moreno and Wolff, those are two different fighters, and Wolff, certainly the bigger 170 fighter now.
Nice left.
Yeah.
That left hook is found us home.
Well, good job by Wolff to cover up those knees. Those were effective against Moreno. The knees by Reiner. Big kicks. Both fighters trading blows.
He's catching those kicks on his elbows too.
Wow, we saw a lot of groundwork in the first two rounds. Now we're just seeing the two guys just stand and bang.
That's where I hope that the judges are actually taking a good look at these strikes, because Reiner's throwing a lot of strikes, but not a lot of them landing. Great defense. Wolff's throwing less punches, but all of them are landing almost. But he's staying busy.
Well, especially with the knees. Brandon's doing a good job of just blocking the knees. Reiner now just standing toe-to-toe with Wolff. Backs him up in the corner.
This is where that mental toughness developed during that steel training. You know, Brandon's never going to give up.
Oh, big, huge knees. Nice elbow. Boy, it doesn't even look like Brandon Wolff is up. He comes back with a flurry. Oh, and a nice left. Reiner says, nice punch. Hey, do it again, he says. Taunting Brandon Wolff.
I don't know if Chad Reiner can take any more punches, but you know he's trying to play the game, the Jason Miller game, but you gotta have to be careful, man. Guy does have some power.
Both fighters putting on a show. Reiner not giving up. Oh, that might have hurt. Oh, and Wolff is covering up. Reiner sets him to kill. Wolff has got to hold on here as he backs his man into the corner. Covering up his Wolff. Perhaps he might be letting Reiner punch himself out. Wolff is not responding to anything.
Blocking everything, though. He's
Yeah,
blocking a lot of things. I don't know if it was like a liver shot. Nice right hand coming back by Wolff.
Wolff is coming back.
Reiner just grinding him out right here.
Right above us now as Brandon Wolff ties up his man. And a takedown. The crowd goes wild.
It's exactly where Wolff wants to be right here. If you're hurt, it's a lot better to be on top and breathing. Nice job of Reiner coming, immediately getting up.
Right above us now as Brandon Wolff took a barrage of punches, many of those blocked by the former Navy SEAL. Reiner still throwing knees and punches. Oh, that right hand got in there. Wolff answering back. Both fighters not relenting. Is he playing possum? He might be playing possum. 15 seconds.
Oh, he hurt him on that.
Oh, that hurt Reiner. What a fight.
Just when you think Reiner has upper hand, he comes back. Wolff comes back with a huge shot.
And the crowd appreciates the battle.
2 more rounds.
That happened in the third round, and we got 2 more.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's exactly what it is. You see if he can keep that pace up. Reiner looks in incredible shape. Like, you know, he hit, but he keeps on coming forward. You know, that's got to like kind of break a little of the spirit when you hit him with hard punches, and the damn guy just keeps on coming forward.
Where do we begin in the highlights of this round? Because, boy, Reiner brought everything but the kitchen sink, and it seemed that Brandon Wolff was just fending off the attack.
You know,
that's that shot right there. I think it was like a liver kick or a body shot or something. But Brandon has excellent defense. So he tucks that chin nice and tight, kind of hides that chin. He comes back and fires over. So even when he's throwing those punches, he's still throwing those hips, so it's a lot of power generated in those punches.
Right now, Reiner must be thinking, what the hell is going on with this guy? I thought the locals were supposed to get tired and go down.
What, do I have to bring a baseball bat into this ring to knock this guy out? Blow after blow, and you said it, Mike Kutsugi, it might be discouraging, you know, to a Chad Reiner, throwing everything he got, throwing bombs the way he did, and Wolff just shaking it off. And you mentioned it too, the training and the discipline to complete the Navy SEAL program. And it all carries over into life, into work, and now into the ring of MMA.
You got to think about it. This guy's coming in. This guy's trying to punch his head off, but this other guy is trying to shoot him in his last job. You know what I mean?
2 more rounds, 2 more 5-minute rounds. How much can these fighters take? You know, Reiner is an ex-Marine, used to train with Marine wrestling team. So this is Marines versus sailors. Boy, they don't like each other in the first place. No wonder we got a war here. Shoot attempt right into the corner. Wolff. Oh, this is what he did to Moreno. Oh, a big body slam.
I think that probably took a lot of energy on Reiner right now, but you gotta understand, Reiner's wrestling is real good, you know. You got a good team, you know, out there in Kailua. A lot of Kahuku wrestlers. A lot of people don't know that they all wrestlers that tune out of their team. So
the last time a Chad Reiner pulled a move like that in this building, he broke the ribs of Mark Moreno. in winning the X1 Welterweight Championship.
Trying to go for a toe, but it's an awkward position. He's not going to do more like a hip lock than anything else. He pulls that leg out to the side.
Right now, Reiner is looking for a desperate submission. Right now, he's trying to go for a full lock, which is hard to get from his position.
Be better off going back to the Kimura.
Trying to gain the back. Oh, it's almost a carbon copy of the Moreno fight. After he did the slam, he went and took Moreno's back. As now, Wolff now in a precarious position. And now the hammer throw by Reiner.
Crucifix right here.
Taking some mean punches to the ear is Brendan Wolff.
He's doing a good job of keeping that right arm trapped to Wolff.
As I mentioned at the top of this fight, 9 of Reiner's 17 victories have been via the submission. Very skilled on the ground. Knows how to put the pieces together, put his man in a position where he will give up a back, give up an arm, give up a toe lock. And now he has the back of Brendan Wolff, trying to get the hooks in. Wolff fighting off the advances of Reiner.
Wolff doing a good job, 2-on-1, grabbing that hand. Wants to see if he can kind of place it on over the other side. Trying to create a little space, create a scramble so he can make a quick turn to gain the top.
3 minutes have elapsed here in round number 4, scheduled for 5 in a grueling welterweight championship bout.
Just kind of grinding his face there more than anything else. Wolff wants to put his back to the ground. Look for a turn. See if he can make that turn. Just be careful of the arm lock right here. Arm lock and triangle.
Wolff trying to slip out the back door here.
He's got it locked in a triangle position.
Oh, and he has his arm. Trying to wheel that arm over. Brandon Wolff with all his might. Trying to get out of it. And he does a good job, at least for the moment.
Needs to keep that head up and drive forward to kind of get out of that triangle. Good job by coming through with
Oh,
that
and he
arm.
does get right into the guard. Nice job by Brandon Wolff.
Excellent defense, especially when you're tired.
1 minute left here, and they're right above us. And you can hear the breathing from both fighters.
Nice switch by Reiner to take the top.
Good. Smart. Half time. You got 45 seconds left. Smart.
Both great technicians on the ground here. Nice switches, nice arm lock attempts, great defenses.
It seems that Brandon Wolff has done more of the defense in this particular round than any other round. Still a long way to go. 30 seconds in this round and another 5-minute round for the 5th.
Brandon's actually doing a good job. You keep them locked down like that. Kind of catch a breather right there. Stay safe.
10 seconds. And both fighters will be content to have it go to a 5th and final 5-minute round. Well, you got to be careful what you ask for. They both wanted to go 5-5s, and that's certainly what's going to happen tonight.
Exactly. Phenomenal conditioning by both guys. You think Brandon Wolff is tired, but he keeps on gunning out great takedowns, good takedown defenses. Phenomenal.
What do you guys see this fight right now? 2-2?
Yeah, I see it pretty
I see a
even.
draw right now.
Yeah, 2-2. So the 5th and final round might be the deciding factor here. Who has the stamina? Who has the condition to finish it out? Let's take a look at some of the replays from round number 4.
Here's that takedown. Sucks him up. Lifts him up. This is a lot of exertion here. Picks him up. Little airborne and drives that shoulder down. He's hoping to knock that air out again.
And this is where he will slide out of that triangle.
Excellent job by Brandon Wolff. Another very close submission by Reiner.
Chad Reiner has a very busy schedule. He's going to fight in Canada next month, Omaha in July, and then back to the UK in August. So kind of a jet setter, as Brandon Wolff would no doubt like to have Reiner go back to the mainland, less one welterweight belt.
Last round.
And legitimately, he is a professional fighter. Ask him what else he does. He trains at this one gym now in Arizona.
Yeah, the lab.
But he doesn't do training, nothing. He just fights. That's how he gets his money.
Still talking and jabbing towards Wolff. Telling him to bring it on. This might be a carbon copy of round 3 where we saw a lot of fireworks.
Brandon has to keep the backhand straight. After those looping punches. There you go. Down goes Frazier.
Oh, right down. Can he finish him off? Give credit to Reiner.
Give credit to Nico for telling him straight that straight right, straight.
Boy, you see those knees buckle?
That's exactly what he needed. Straight down the pike, and it landed like all his other punches, but this one dropped him.
Wow.
Like a bad habit. You see the blood coming out of his eye again, Reiner's eye.
Now Wolff.
That's what he needed to do, that straight right, huh?
Oh yeah, he's looping, like you said, and that one, he straightened right down the pike, landed clean.
Stand up! Stand up! Stand up!
And now Wolff from this position, can he inflict more damage to his opponent? Got to be careful now. Reiner's the kind of guy that just before you know it, you're in an arm lock.
Kind of staying busy underneath there, trying to get the angles, but he's doing a good job at controlling those hips, covering those knees. He covered those knees very difficult to set up any type of triangle armbar.
A lot of time left in this round for Reiner to come back. But it is Wolff that threw the first salvo and another couple of punches as Reiner almost made it to his feet.
Nice little switch by Reiner to go after a single.
How hurt is Chad Reiner now?
It's hard to tell because he keeps on coming in stronger. And
well, he's going to try to pick him up. The suplex again, not as effective as the first one he did.
The way he's holding on to kind of required a lot more power out of Reiner to kind of pick him up.
Well, he had the strength to pick him up all the way up top.
Right in the middle of the 5th round right here.
Wow. What a war between these two. What a battle. Two well-conditioned athletes.
The guy that needs to do it, he needs to get up right now. If he gets up and try to make this fight standing, I think he's going to solidify this fight tonight.
Going after that submission. He locks it up. He's got to move his hips out to the right instead of to the left.
2 minutes left to go in this championship bout. Right back in the guard goes Reiner. The crowd, pro-Wolff here at the Blaisdell, urging their boy to get out of this.
Nice hip high switch right back to Kimura. Reiner muscled out, straight that arm.
Can he bend it back? Reiner with a good job of moving out of position, and he gives it up.
See, Reiner's on top, but not really doing any damage. Actually, yeah. Brandon Wolff is the one who's being more active, going for those submissions.
60 seconds left to go. Who will take home the X1 welterweight championship? Will it go back to Omaha or reside in Honolulu?
Work tough, man.
Brandon Wolff on the bottom with a knockdown, and they're going to stand him up for the last couple of seconds here of the 5th and final round. Wolff with a knockdown already, so he already has the edge in this round. Oh, and a swing and a miss, and a kick. Single shoot attempt. Sprawling out is Wolff.
trying to pull in that single there. Wolff doing a good job of keeping those hips square, legs back. Nice suck in to finish that takedown.
If Wolff can hold his position right here, I think he may have the round in 10 seconds left. Two, one, and that's the end of 25 minutes.
We'll see how the judges voted for this one. The top dominant position versus a busy Wolff on the bottom with those submissions.
And don't forget the knockdown with the straight right hand that buckled Reiner.
Yeah. Hopefully they remember that early in that round. They score that correctly.
Nico, let's take a look at that devastating right hand, and you called it.
Yep, I've been telling him all week, that's last 2 weeks, you need to keep the hand straight because he likes to throw those looping punches.
There it is.
He connected it, man. Look at that.
That's textbook right there. Woo, right on the button.
And I just saw the knees of Chad Reiner just buckle under him, and then, boy, good job by Reiner to just not let Wolff just take advantage of him. But you both had it at 2-2, and perhaps Brandon Wolff did enough, Nico Vitale, to edge out perhaps a split decision.
You know what? Brandon's my good friend. I think he won tonight. I'm being honest, too. I think he won tonight.
And this is the kind of thing that can jumpstart a career. This is something that a Brandon Wolff was looking for.
Oh yeah, he's still growing in the sport. Guy that has been through the sport for a long time. He's been training for almost 8 years. He's got what it takes.
Yeah. Started MMA back in 2001, training with Egan, Inoue at Grappling Unlimited. Moved over to Kailua, a more family atmosphere over at MMAD. And will it be the sailor or will it be the Marine that takes home the belt? And are we ready for the decision? Yes, we are, and we'll set it up topside, and James Brennan has the announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards here at the Blaisdell, where judge number 1 scores it 47-48 Wolff. Judge number 2 scores it 47-48 Raynell. And judge number 3 scores it 47-48 for your winner by split decision and new lightweight champion, Brandon Wolff.
Well, Nico Vitale, this wolf has come out of the forest, and it's mission accomplished for the former Navy SEAL that has taken the X1 welterweight belt away from Chad Reiner, and it will reside, at least for the time being, in Honolulu, Hawaii.
I don't know about that split decision, but hey, I'm proud of this kid, man. He's been a long way, and I guarantee you the next fight he'll be prepared for defend that champion.
And really, no losers in this match. Although he will take home the belt, Chad Reiner really put up a great fight.
You know what? I think we should see a rematch in this fight. So
let's hear from the champion, and let's go up to my partner, Mike Unzuka. Mike?
Here with Brandon Wolff. That was one of the worst wars that I've ever seen. Once you got the edge, then he knocked you. You came back and was back and forth. You looked tired early in the match, but every time you look like you're down and out, then you hit him with a good shot. How close were you to being so tired that you can't go on?
I got tired early on, but I was prepared for that. That's how we train. I trained for 5-5s against another animal, a warrior, and that's exactly what I got. It was a close fight, and I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. That was all about the experience right there, and I just had to persevere. I got him, he got me. I had to fight smart.
You're aggressive with the ground. Even when he put you on your back, you're aggressive with the submissions that probably won you that last deciding 5th round. Did you feel like your fight was possibly slipping away when he kept on putting you down in the 5th round?
Yeah, I think the judges were pretty accurate. It was back and forth. Once I felt like I was gaining momentum, he just came back and fucking grounded me. You know what I mean? So a lot of people don't realize he came off of a fight 3 weeks ago. He didn't have to come over here and put his belt on the line. And that just shows what kind of fighter he is, and I respect that. And I wouldn't have wanted it any other way.
You definitely earned this victory, and there's a lot of great 170-pounders in Hawaii, and definitely you just you threw your name in the hat as one of those great 170-pound champions. Congratulations. Brandon Wolff.
Thank you. Braun Urgent Care in Kailua. Dr. Braun took my game to a whole nother level. The boys at Team MMA Development who made the sacrifices and put me on the cage, put me on the ropes every day. Hawaiian Fight Gear, Kochi Restaurant, all my sponsors, MRA, Mako, Rothman Incorporated, OTM, So Fine, all the guys on our shirts. It was a combined effort. Everybody supported. 808 Fight Factory, Ron, Jhun, all the animals over there. It wasn't just me. It was a bunch of people that deserve this belt. And what motivated me the most was to bring this back to Hawaii. So now it's back in Hawaii. When it goes away from me, another Hawaiian fighter, local fighter comes up and brings it back here. That's just the way it goes.
Congratulations again, your new X1 World Champion, Brandon Wolff.
And a big mahalo to Nico Vitale for stepping in and providing some expert commentary. Well, that brings us now to the main event as Brandon Wolff poses for pictures with the belt. And our main event, the middleweight division, Egan Inoue making his comeback as he will be taking on Hans Marrero in our main event. And let's meet one of the fighters now in James Brennan.
Ladies and gentlemen, now entering the ring, Hans Marrero.
Well, as Hans Marrero enters the arena, let's meet this 23-year-old fighter from Arizona.
Hans Marrero. I'm 23 years old, Kabushi Sessenjutsu. Well, I started fighting when I was 18, right when I turned 18, and they turned me pro right away. And I kind of just knew one move. It was the armbar. I did it over and over. Yeah, I'm an armbar guy. I go to the ground and pound. That's really it. Pull the armbar when I need it.
Hans Marrero, all 15 of his victories have been via the armbar. Back to you, James.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming out of retirement here at X1, Egan Inoue.
Walking in with the adulation and the celebration of a conquering warrior. The one, the only, the legend.
Egan Inoue, 42 years old, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Well, if he thinks he's going to come in and school me, I said, I think he's going to have a big surprise because whether I win or lose, he's going to know he's got into a fight.
Well, the last time Egan Inoue was in this ring, things didn't turn out well, but that was 4.5 years ago. Could this be a better and fitter Egan Inoue?
We'll see. 42 years old. Not many guys are successful at 42 years old, but there's also a guy who came back out of retirement to gain the UFC heavyweight championship at an age that's even older than 42. So, if there's one guy that can do it, Egan's phenomenal shape. He might be that one to come back.
Let's have the introduction of our main event participants, and for that, we send it once again to James Brennan.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to our featured bout of this evening, brought to you by Go-Yin. Thousands of years of traditional Asian medicine, summed up in one word, balance. This contest is scheduled for three-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, coming to us by way of Scottsdale, Arizona. He brings in with him a professional record of 15 wins, 60 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the Pinoy Assassin, Marrero. And his opponent, fighting across the ring under the red corner, coming to us by way of Manoa. And he brings in a professional MMA record of 12 wins, 7 defeats. He is the former middleweight champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you Egan Inoue.
Well, as we take a look at the tail of the tape, and the big difference, the age, 19 years separating these two.
Exactly. We'll see if the age comes into play. The later in the rounds, usually the younger fighter has more conditioning, can come back, but Egan's phenomenal as far as his conditioning.
We have some special rules for this fight.
Yep. This one, there's no elbows on the ground. They can do it standing up. They can do the knees like any other fight. But this rule, no elbows on the ground. So that should kind of eliminate a lot of cuts that kind of stop fights early as well.
In the days leading up to this fight, Marrero showing a lot of respect. Paid homage to Egan Inoue, his teenage idol. And a big body slam by Inoue.
He's trying to clear that leg. He could get cross-side position, keeping that chin nice and tight. He's doing a good job of trying to sneak in that knee, and that knee will create some space here.
Egan throwing down some punches as Marrero is trying to fend off the attack. Marrero trying to go for an armbar like he has done 15 times before.
Marrero tries to go after that knee. He does a good job of hipping out and circling.
Boom! Marrero taking a big hit. And another
might be done.
He might be done for Egan. And Marrero is done. And they stop the fight. Stop the fight. 59 seconds into the round. Moreno is done, and Egan is back.
He hit him with some good shots here. Great defensive positioning. An early attempt at a knee bar, not even close. Egan hipped in, circled, and punished him for it, and ended the fight with some blows.
Boy, that doesn't look like the power of a 42-year-old, but then a 42-year-old body doesn't look like that. Egan Inoue. And Marrero still wondering where he is. 59 seconds. And Marrero still dazed. Don't know what hit him. Let's take a look. There's a high click. And Inoue quickly takes him down. Works him from the ground. Marrero did try to go for an arm, but Egan said would have none of that. And then the punches just started to come, and then Marrero, all he could do was cover up. So at 42 years old, Egan Inoue wanted to test himself, see where he was at on the comeback trail, had a lot of new training regimens, a Russian regiment, where he has shorter workouts and a shorter recovery time. He didn't get a lot of work in. 59 seconds, that's all it took. And now let's go up top to James Brennan. He has the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time of 59 seconds. So round number 1, your winner by TKO victory, Egan Inoue.
Inoue, your winner. He runs his record now to 13-7 and kind of erases all the bugaboos and the bad memories of being in this house and in this ring. And the 4.5-year hiatus is over, and Egan Inoue is back in MMA. Let's hear from him, and let's hear from my partner, Michael Zuka.
First of all, you took a long break from fighting. You're basically a master of, or kind of a mad scientist as far as training methods. You tried different techniques out. You didn't have a long time to kind of study or actually execute your game plan. How did you feel as far as conditioning-wise with that long break?
I think I'm good. I didn't really get the chance. I didn't get to try it out. It happened too quick. It just is fun. I can't really tell if all my training, worked.
So when you came in, you kind of dominated position. You're the ground specialist. He came in saying that he had a lot of submissions, kind of plays to your strength. Was your goal or your plan coming in to kind of test your stand-up a little bit, or do you want to take the fight to the ground and kind of just test him on the ground a little bit?
I actually wanted to do the stand-up game at first, but then I wanted back to the ground since he was claimed to be the submission guy. I'm the submission guy.
It's not good to call yourself submission guy when you're training against the guy who's a two-time world champion on the ground.
Yeah, well, you know, I got to protect the BJJ, you know.
So, how do you feel after coming this fight? Obviously, you're unscathed. We have one other X1 that's coming up on July 12th. Are we going to see another return of Egan Inoue in that event?
I don't know. I'm gonna take some time. I'm gonna think about it again. I didn't really get to challenge myself today, but I thought that was a good one. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. Depends on X1, huh? How bad do they want me?
We know we want you bad, so we'll see what X1 can come bring to the table. Once again, congratulations on your comeback. And I guess do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all my sponsors over here. We got One Shot, Grappling Unlimited, the studio, Barefoot League. I got OTM over here, Goyen, Berwin Ito, Dr. Berwin Ito, O'Neill, Fighting, of course, and then Skull Candy. I also like to thank all the guys who took the time to train me. I got my old guy crew back, Rob, P Lightning, some of you guys know him as. We got Sheldon back, Kumu's back, McConnell's back. I got my whole team back again. We got a really good team. I also like to thank all the guys at the studio and Grappling Unlimited that support me every single day.
Congratulations again, your winner, and he's back, Egan Inoue.
5-time Super Brawl middleweight champion, a Pride Tournament champion, a 2-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion, and of course, who could forget the 80s and the early 90s when he dominated the world racquetball circuit. And now Egan Inoue, at age 42, is back in the fight game. Boy, it seems that the 4.5-year layoff certainly didn't do him any damage. I mean, Hans Marrero came in with a lot of credentials, 15-5, a guy who gets it done on the ground, but certainly, as we saw, 59 seconds, Michael Nzuka, no match for the talents and the strength of an Egan Inoue.
Definitely. You call yourself a ground guy, that's all well and good, but you're fighting one of the premier ground guys that's proven himself in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, world champion, 2-time world champion, Abu Dhabi competitor, as well as a wealth of experience in MMA.
So what's next for an Egan Inoue? When we asked him, well, what do you want to do? He says, my future is Hans Marrero. Well, that's in his rear view mirror now. What's ahead? He probably would want to have somebody a little bit more skilled than a Hans Marrero.
I think he's a smart guy, and he knows to kind of gauge himself back up and slowly climb back to the top, not jump into the deep end and see how well he'll do. He wants to probably get somebody who'll give him a little more work, test his training methods. He's always trying new and different training methods. I heard for this fight, he didn't even run at all. He did all circuit type of training and different type of things. And obviously, it worked up to this point. We don't know how long it's going to last, or another round or another 2 rounds. But a very, very impressive showing by Egan Inoue.
Well, he talked about new technology, new supplements, shorter workouts, shorter recovery time and everything like that. All of these things playing into his favor because of his age, he says. Well, age, I told him, I joked with him when he made his comeback announcement. I says, what, is the 40s the new 20s?
The way he looks better than me. He looks better than a lot of 20-year-olds that I see that are in shape. The guy's a phenomenal athlete.
Certainly is, and certainly is a legend, and led credence to this card tonight. Well, we had another legend, Koka, who defeated Michael Brightman. We had Bretta Cooper, a legend in his own right. He got stunned by a guy who just took the fight on 4 days' notice, a guy who came out of the cold in Alaska, and Richie Whitson. We're very impressed with him. A KO victory over Bretta Cooper.
That's a huge win for a guy who basically came out of Alaska. Nobody really knows what's going on up there, but obviously they're producing some good fighters here.
And then Brandon Wolff, and just a marathon match, 25 minutes of combat, and Brandon Wolff out of Team MMA Dion and Kolo taking the title away from Chad Reiner, and then Egan Inoue wrapping up the show in the Legends card. 59 seconds, Egan is back.
Phenomenal showing, a championship match that we couldn't ask for a better championship match.
Fantastic night of MMA brought to you by X1 World Events. For my broadcast partner, Mike Nzuka, fellow Nico Vitale, who sat in, our excellent production and camera crew from Liquid Planet Studios, and of course, Time Warner Cable, Oceanic, bringing you the pay-per-view here in the States and around the world. I'm Russell Shamoka saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time in the ring for X1 World Events. Good night, everyone.